The galaxy watched in horror as humans stormed out of the assembly. The hall of the Galactic Assembly was massive. It stretched higher than any building John Carter had ever seen on Earth. The walls were made of a smooth, glowing material that shifted colors, reflecting the presence of different species. Each alien race had its own section, and their representatives looked at humans with expressions that ranged from curiosity to open contempt. John sat beside Lisa Brown, the other leader of the human delegation, trying to stay calm. His eyes scanned the room. Some aliens had 6 arms, some had no eyes at all, and some floated slightly above the floor. They all whispered among themselves, occasionally glancing at the humans as if judging them without reason. For years, humans had been quiet in the galaxy. They had built colonies, traded resources, and avoided conflicts, but some species could not forget the past. Decades ago, humans had defended themselves fiercely in a war that many races now said they had lost only by luck. Those memories had grown into stories, exaggerated into warnings. Humans were reckless, dangerous, unpredictable. Today, the Assembly wanted to confirm that. A small alien with sharp, silver skin stood up first. It introduced itself as the speaker of the Chirans, a race known for their intelligence and strict rules. "Humans," it said in a voice that seemed to echo in multiple tones, "you have expanded too quickly. Your colonies are beyond control. Your fleets move without permission. Your presence threatens the balance of the galaxy. We ask you to reduce your influence, to submit to the authority of this assembly, and to limit your reach." John listened carefully. Lisa's hand rested on a tablet in front of her, but her fingers did not move. Humans were known for patience, and she had practiced it for months in preparation for this day. John felt a tightness in his chest, but he did not let it show. He had expected confrontation, but he had also expected civility. This was neither. It was arrogance. Another alien, larger than any human with green skin and a face full of ridges, rose. "They speak of control," it said, "but we see only chaos. Humans are like children playing with fire. They must be disciplined. We demand a reduction in their fleets and a surrender of their outposts beyond the neutral zones. Failure to comply will be seen as defiance." Its voice was deep, rumbling through the hall like thunder. A few of the other aliens nodded. Some even clapped, though the sound was strange, sharp, and hollow. John looked at Lisa. She did not blink, did not show fear. She only gave a slight nod, a silent message that he understood. They had prepared for this, but not for this level of insult. A murmur rose through the assembly. Whispers moved from one corner to another. Some aliens were shocked. Humans had remained quiet for years. Many had even tried to engage peacefully, offering trade deals and technical assistance. And now, the humans sat in front of them as if they owned nothing but their patience and their quiet strength. John took a slow breath. The human delegates were outnumbered, yes, but that did not matter. Strength was not only in numbers. It was in unity, in understanding what could and could not be tolerated. He remembered the history lessons he had learned as a child. Humans had survived disasters that would have destroyed most other species. They had survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and betrayals. They had built cities, created medicines, invented machines, and yet always stayed alert to danger. They were not reckless. They were resilient. The chair of the assembly, a floating entity named Orion, spoke next. Its voice was calm, almost soothing, but John could sense the underlying threat. "Humans," it said, "the vote is clear. The assembly demands compliance. Reduce your fleets, withdraw from contested colonies, and submit your governance to the Joint Council. This is not a request. It is a mandate. Failure to comply may lead to measures the assembly will enforce. We hope for your cooperation." The room went silent. For a moment, the only sound was the soft hum of energy fields that powered the assembly hall. Aliens shifted in their seats, some murmuring, some whispering to their neighbors. All eyes were on the humans. John felt their gaze like a weight pressing down. He could see the curiosity, the doubt, and yes, the fear behind many eyes. Humans were not supposed to do this. They were supposed to accept the Assembly's decisions, bow, negotiate, and compromise. That was the way of the galaxy. John slowly stood. The room seemed to grow quieter, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. He raised his hands, not in threat, but in acknowledgement. "Thank you," he said, his voice steady. "Thank you for showing us your judgment. Thank you for showing us what you think we are. It is clear now that your words cannot guide us. Your decisions will not shape our future. We will leave this assembly not in anger but in understanding. We have learned what we must learn. We will act in our own way." He sat down, and Lisa rose next. Her movements were precise and calm. "We will walk away," she said, "and we will do so united. Humanity does not need your approval. Humanity does not need your rules. We will continue our work, defend our people, and build our colonies. The galaxy may watch in horror, but we will walk forward with our heads high." John gave the signal. Every human delegate without a word stood. Some were engineers, some diplomats, some scientists, but all moved as one. The aliens watched in disbelief as the human delegation rose together, forming a perfect line. The humans did not march. They walked, measured and calm. No one shouted. No one threatened. The assembly had expected a scene, a rebellion, a plea, anything. They got quiet dignity instead. As the humans reached the exit, the murmurs grew. Whispers became loud chatter. Many species tried to stop them. "Wait, you cannot leave like this," one alien shouted. "You will regret this," said another. But John and Lisa ignored them. They stepped into the main corridor of the station. It was enormous, lined with stars visible through transparent walls. Human ships waited outside, sleek and silent, powered up and ready. John turned back briefly. The hall was still filled with shocked faces. Some aliens had never seen humans stand so firm. Some feared what would come next. Whispers of war, whispers of revenge, whispers of power moved across the assembly. John did not flinch. He did not even glance at them again. He had seen enough. As the human ships began to move, not toward attack but toward departure, the assembly members began to understand the enormity of what had happened. Humans had not argued. They had not begged. They had not even threatened. They had walked away, calm, united, and completely silent in their purpose. It was a statement louder than any weapon, stronger than any fleet. Humanity had drawn a line. The galaxy had watched, and the galaxy would never forget. John looked out at the stars, at the countless worlds that had always doubted humans. He thought about the history of his species, about how far they had come, and about what lay ahead. The humans were not leaving in defeat. They were leaving in strength. And soon the galaxy would see that strength in ways that no one could have imagined. Lisa stood beside him, her eyes on the horizon. She did not smile, but John knew she felt the same determination he did. Humanity had faced judgment, humiliation, and fear. They had been quiet observers for too long. Now they were moving forward and nothing could stop them. And somewhere in the assembly hall, whispers became panic. The galaxy realized too late that humans were not weak. They were not reckless. They were patient, united, and ready. The horror they felt was not of battle. It was of understanding a truth that had been hidden for decades. Humans could endure anything, and when they chose to act, the galaxy would see the full measure of their power. As the human ships disappeared into the vastness of space, the assembly members could only stare. The galaxy had witnessed something that would echo for generations. Humans had not fought, but they had sent a message no one would forget. And John Carter and Lisa Brown, standing at the helm of that silent fleet, felt the quiet satisfaction of knowing that humanity had finally decided to take its place in the stars. On its own terms, the assembly hall was quiet for a long moment after the humans left. Whispers turned into shouts, and shouts turned into panic. Alien leaders rushed to their communication devices, calling for reports, sending urgent messages, and demanding explanations. The idea that humans could simply leave without protest shook every race in the galaxy. The humans had never done this before. They had always followed protocol, negotiated, and compromised. Now they had walked away, calm, united, and silent. It was more terrifying than any attack. In the center of the hall, a council of the larger species gathered quickly. The green-skinned alien who had demanded human submission slammed its hand on the table. "They cannot do this," it shouted. "We cannot allow it. They will come back. Mark my words. They will come back with fire we cannot imagine." Other members nodded, some pale under their exoskeletons, some trembling in fear. The assembly had underestimated humans, and now they faced the consequences. Far above the hall, in orbit around the assembly station, human ships began to move. They did not form a battle line, nor did they point their weapons. Their engines glowed quietly, and their movements were precise. Each ship responded instantly to commands from Earth. Mark Davis, in command of the human fleet, gave his orders in a calm voice over secure channels. "Prepare for departure. Maintain formation. Monitor all communication. No retaliation unless fired upon. We are leaving, not attacking." The alien observers in the station watched, confused. They had expected an immediate response, some kind of protest or even a threat. But the humans were leaving. Their silence was louder than words. Their precision was frightening. The whispers in the hall turned to speculation. Some aliens argued that the humans must be hiding some new weapon, some secret fleet, or some strange power no one had ever seen. Others were afraid to speak. John Carter and Lisa Brown watched from the flagship's command deck. The stars outside stretched endlessly. John's eyes scanned the galaxy, thinking about the long years humans had endured. For centuries, humans had been underestimated. They had survived attacks, raids, betrayals, and betrayals of treaties. Humans had been called weak, reckless, and childish. Yet here they were, united and calm, demonstrating a power no one had noticed before. "Do you think they understand what we can do?" Lisa asked quietly. She did not move from her station, her hands resting lightly on the control panel. John shook his head. "They will learn. They always do. Humans have been patient for too long. Now the galaxy is about to see us without restraint." Back in the assembly hall, panic turned into fear. The smaller species began sending urgent messages. "What if they retaliate?" one whispered to another. "We underestimated them," said a third. Debates erupted over communication channels. The assembly chair, Orion, tried to calm the situation. "Remain seated. Do not act without full reports. We do not know their intentions." But few listened. Rumors had already spread that humanity had never used its full power. Stories of human resilience and ingenuity were exaggerated, but now, for the first time, the galaxy realized they might be true. Outside the station, human ships accelerated toward known human space. Every maneuver was coordinated. Engineers and pilots had been training for this moment for months, some for years. It was not a war mission. It was a demonstration of focus, discipline, and unity. The ships responded to commands instantly, no hesitation, no errors. The precision and coordination amazed even some human officers. The galaxy had always underestimated humans, and humans had never shown their full strength. Not yet. In a distant communication hub, alien spies tried to intercept messages. They found nothing unusual. No threats, no plans of attack, no hidden weapons, only silence. It was maddening. Some thought the humans were bluffing, while others were terrified. Stories of the human war in the past were revisited. Humans had survived impossible odds then, too. The same patience, the same endurance was now visible in their calm departure. John stood by the observation deck, watching the ships move like a single organism. Every crew member had a role. Every decision was precise. The galaxy had always focused on power and numbers, but humans showed that strength could come from unity, patience, and will. Lisa joined him. Her expression was calm, but her mind was sharp. She had seen how the assembly reacted. She knew that fear was spreading. She knew the galaxy was beginning to understand something it had ignored for centuries. They expected us to beg or fight or at least argue, Lisa said. They did not expect silence, precision, and departure. They are learning our patience is not weakness. John nodded. We will not strike first. That is not our way, but we will not allow threats to continue. The galaxy will see the difference between patience and submission. Meanwhile, on distant colonies, humans received orders instantly. Emma White monitored communications, confirming that all human colonies were withdrawing slightly to secure positions. It was not a retreat. It was a controlled movement designed to show humans were ready to defend themselves, without initiating conflict. Every colony responded within minutes, perfectly coordinated. The galaxy began to notice. Rumors spread. Humans were not only patient but organized, and their discipline was terrifying. As the assembly tried to regroup, debates became frantic. Smaller species demanded immediate retaliation. We must strike now, one shouted. If we delay, they will become unstoppable. Another argued that diplomacy was better, but the room was chaotic. The humans had done something no one expected. They had forced the galaxy to react without doing anything at all. They had not fired a single shot, and yet fear spread like wildfire. John and Lisa observed reports from the communication lines. Every species, every colony, every fleet in the assembly system was reacting. Some scrambled ships, some fortified defenses, some tried to contact the humans. All were confused. No one knew if the humans were bluffing or preparing something unimaginable. John smiled slightly. Humans had waited long enough. They had endured threats and insults for decades. Now the galaxy would learn the cost of underestimating them. In orbit above one of the colonies, Nina Hall coordinated defensive protocols. Human engineers ensured that ships and stations were ready, fully armed if necessary. But there was no anger in the orders. There was calm, precise logic. Humans had learned to survive by planning, observing, and reacting only when needed. The galaxy had interpreted silence as weakness. It was not weakness. It was restraint. And now, restraint would end if necessary. Far from the assembly, trade routes between alien systems began to experience disruption. Rumors of human fleets moving strategically, not aggressively, caused panic. Some traders paused commerce. Some systems tried to form alliances for protection. The galaxy realized it had miscalculated. Humans were not weak, not reckless, not dependent on the assembly. Humans were patient, united, and disciplined. The horror spread not because humans attacked, but because the galaxy finally realized the potential humans had held back for decades. John turned to Lisa. "We are showing restraint," he said quietly. "We are not attacking. We are not threatening, but they see our calm as power. They will think twice before testing humanity again." Lisa nodded. "Restraint is more powerful than aggression. The galaxy always forgets that." The human fleet moved steadily toward the edge of assembly space, maintaining formations, monitoring signals, and preparing for any action if necessary. Yet there was no aggression. The galaxy had watched the humans leave, and the galaxy would never be the same. Whispers of fear and uncertainty spread among alien fleets. Reports arrived that some species were already reconsidering their alliances, fearful of human patience and power. For John and Lisa, it was a moment of clarity. Humans had endured threats, insults, and pressure for centuries. They had been underestimated at every step. Now they were leaving the assembly not with anger but with purpose. The galaxy had learned a hard lesson. Humans were not weak. Patience was not weakness. And when humans finally decided to act, they would act with precision, unity, and determination. As human ships continued their silent departure, John watched the stars, thinking about the future. He thought about colonies, fleets, and strategies that humans had built quietly over decades. The galaxy had ignored them, underestimated them, and now the galaxy was afraid. The horror in alien eyes was not from weapons, but from the realization that humans could endure, plan, and act better than anyone expected. And in that silence, moving steadily through space, humanity made its statement. Not a single shot was fired, no systems were destroyed, yet the galaxy had begun to understand a new truth. Humans were patient, humans were united, and humans were ready. John Carter and Lisa Brown, standing at the helm of the human fleet, knew that the galaxy would remember this moment. The galaxy would fear it, respect it, and learn from it. And humanity had only just begun to show its strength. Far from the assembly, humanity moved as one. The fleet of ships glided through the stars, quiet but powerful. John Carter stood on the observation deck of the flagship, watching distant worlds pass beneath them. The galaxy had always underestimated humans. Even their allies sometimes forgot how adaptable and determined they were. Now, the galaxy was beginning to see the truth. "They are watching us," Lisa Brown said quietly, joining him at the observation deck. Her eyes scanned the holographic map of the galaxy, showing alien fleets scrambling in confusion. "They do not understand our restraint. They think silence is weakness. It is not weakness. It is strategy," John nodded. "They have always judged humans by what they see, not what we can do. Patience is our strength. Planning is our power. They will remember this moment for centuries." In distant systems, alien leaders began to communicate frantically. Messages flew through hyperspace, some demanding retaliation, others warning caution. Smaller species sent urgent requests for aid, realizing their security depended on humans more than they had ever admitted. The galaxy was beginning to understand that humans had never relied on the assembly's approval. Humans had relied only on their own preparation, their unity, and their endurance. Back on the human flagship, Emma White monitored communications from the colonies. Every colony had responded immediately to the fleet's orders. Ships had activated defense protocols, stations were fully staffed, and every resource was accounted for. The movement was coordinated perfectly. It was not aggressive, but it was unmistakably strong. The galaxy could sense the power in this calm action. "We have waited a long time," John said, "and endured much. Now they will see what patience really means." Lisa looked at him. "They will see restraint, not rage. They will see strategy, not chaos." They have no idea how far humans have prepared for this moment. Decades of planning had gone into building the human fleet and colonies. Hidden research stations, long-range monitoring systems, and secret defense networks had been established quietly. Humans had avoided using these resources fully, respecting treaties and avoiding conflict. But now, the galaxy had crossed the line of respect. The humans were ready to defend themselves fully, and the galaxy would feel it, even without a single shot fired. In the assembly hall, panic spread further. Species argued over what the humans might be planning. Some recalled human history, the wars and disasters humans had survived. Others realized that humans had always shown patience and ingenuity, surviving threats that would have destroyed most other civilizations. The whispers of fear grew louder. The galaxy was beginning to understand that humans had hidden reserves of strength, reserves that could no longer be ignored. John watched the galaxy's reaction with a quiet smile. Humans had endured threats for centuries. Now the galaxy would learn that patience was not submission. Humans had survived ice ages, plagues, and wars. They had built colonies across distant worlds, and now they moved with purpose. Every action was measured, every movement precise. The galaxy could not mistake this for weakness. Far from human space, alien spies tried to predict human movements. They intercepted signals, studied fleet patterns, and analyzed colonies, but they could not understand the discipline and planning humans had shown. Humans did not react out of anger. Humans did not act without purpose. Every decision was part of a larger strategy, carefully thought out for decades. The galaxy had no idea how strong humans truly were. Nina Hall coordinated fleet movements from a forward command station. She oversaw the positioning of ships, the readiness of weapons, and the monitoring of alien movements. Everything was precise. Every human ship responded instantly to commands, forming patterns that were elegant and perfect. The galaxy could see humans moving, but it could not see the thought, the preparation, or the decades of planning that had created this moment. "They think we are weak," John said, turning from the observation deck to look at the fleet status board. "They think we are reckless. They have no idea what humans can do when we act together," Lisa nodded. "They will know soon enough. Patience has its power. It is time for the galaxy to learn what humans have withheld for decades." Meanwhile, alien leaders tried to regroup. Smaller species sent messages begging for diplomacy. Larger species debated retaliation. The galaxy was filled with confusion, fear, and uncertainty. No one knew what humans might do next. The departure from the assembly had shown restraint, but it had also shown power. It was a power that came not from weapons, but from discipline, unity, and planning. John and Lisa met with fleet commanders to review positions and readiness. Every colony, every ship, every station was accounted for. Emma White provided updates on communications, confirming that humans were prepared for any outcome. Humans did not intend to attack unless provoked, but the galaxy would not make mistakes about human strength. Every species that had underestimated humans was now beginning to feel fear. "We are not here to fight," John reminded the commanders. "We are here to show that patience is not weakness. We are here to remind the galaxy that humans endure, prepare, and act with purpose. If they choose to test us, they will see our full strength. If they do not, they will see our unity and restraint." Fleet commanders nodded. Humans had waited for centuries. They had endured every insult, every attack, every treaty broken. Now they moved with a clarity and focus that no one could have predicted. The galaxy had underestimated them for too long. It was time to show what humanity could do when pushed beyond its limits. As human ships continued toward distant colonies, reports came in from alien systems. Smaller species expressed relief that humans were not attacking, but fear remained. Larger species warned each other to strengthen defenses. The galaxy had begun to realize that human restraint was more terrifying than aggression. Humans could act with precision and coordination that no other species could match. John and Lisa stood on the observation deck again, watching the stars. They could see alien fleets moving nervously, some trying to predict human strategy, some reinforcing colonies, and some retreating from disputed space. Humans had moved silently, without aggression, yet the galaxy reacted as if a full war had begun. "They will remember this," John said. "They will remember that humans endured, planned, and acted with clarity. They will know patience is power. Restraint is strength." Lisa nodded. "The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. Now they will see what we have withheld. They will see the truth. Humans survive, humans endure, and humans are ready for anything." The human fleet moved steadily. Every colony and outpost followed precise orders. Defenses were prepared, resources were secured, and communications were monitored. Humans did not attack, but every movement was calculated to demonstrate power without aggression. The galaxy watched, fearful and uncertain. Far from the front lines, scientists and engineers worked quietly. They had prepared for decades, building systems and ships that could survive anything. Every decision, every invention, and every training exercise had led to this moment. Humans had waited, watched, and prepared. The galaxy had assumed patience was weakness. It was not. It was the preparation of a species that could survive anything and act decisively when needed. John looked at Lisa. "This is only the beginning," he said. "They are learning that humans endure. They are learning that patience is not weakness. They are learning that when humans decide to act, they act with unity and purpose." Lisa smiled faintly. "And they will continue to learn. The galaxy has only just begun to see the truth." As the human fleet approached the outer systems, the galaxy's panic grew. Stories of human endurance, patience, and planning spread quickly. Some species began to reconsider alliances. Some prepared defenses. All realized the truth. Humans had been underestimated for too long. The horror that spread was not because humans attacked, but because humans could endure, plan, and act better than any other species. John and Lisa watched the stars in silence. The galaxy had begun to understand that humans had never been reckless. They had never been weak. They had survived disasters, wars, and betrayals, and now they were moving with calm, silent power. The galaxy had learned the hard truth. Humans could endure anything, and when they acted, the results were unstoppable. And in that silence, moving steadily through the stars, humanity continued to demonstrate its strength. Not a single shot had been fired. No worlds had been destroyed. Yet the galaxy could feel it. The patience of humanity was stronger than fear, stronger than threats, stronger than words. John Carter and Lisa Brown, standing at the helm of the human fleet, knew the galaxy would never forget this moment. The galaxy had begun to calm, but fear lingered. Alien leaders talked urgently with one another, trying to understand what humans would do next. The smaller species sent messages begging for assistance, realizing that their safety had depended on human patience more than anyone had admitted. The larger species argued, blaming one another for underestimating humanity. The assembly had failed to control humans, and now panic had spread across the stars. Back on the human flagship, John Carter and Lisa Brown monitored reports from all human colonies. Emma White and Nina Hall coordinated communication networks, confirming that humans were secure, organized, and ready to act if necessary. The fleet moved steadily, not to attack, but to maintain position and readiness. Humans had shown restraint, but that restraint was a quiet warning to the galaxy. "Underestimate us at your peril." John looked out at the stars. "They are beginning to understand," he said. "They thought humans would beg, negotiate, or argue. They did not expect calm, unity, and purpose. Now they see the truth." Lisa nodded. "They will also see that restraint can be stronger than aggression. The galaxy is realizing that humans endure and patience is not weakness." In the assembly, alien leaders were in chaos. They had expected humans to be weak, reckless, or desperate for approval. None had anticipated patience, planning, or discipline. Whispers turned to panic. Urgent messages were sent to distant fleets, requesting assistance and forming alliances. Some systems began moving defensive ships into contested space. The galaxy was trying to react, but it was disorganized. Humans had shown their strength without attacking. The effect was terrifying. Meanwhile, humans continued their movements. The fleet maintained formation, colonies strengthened defenses, and communication networks monitored alien activity. Every action was precise, every order executed perfectly. John and Lisa oversaw operations, knowing the galaxy was watching every move. Humans had prepared for decades, building ships, defenses, and systems quietly. Now the galaxy had learned the truth. Humans were patient, strong, and united. Reports arrived from distant colonies. Alien traders had tried to intervene, but humans had anticipated such movements. Trade routes were maintained under careful human control, and security was strengthened without any conflict. The galaxy was beginning to understand that humans could act decisively while remaining calm. Humans had never relied on anger or weapons to demonstrate power. They relied on preparation, unity, and patience. John turned to Lisa. They are beginning to regret underestimating us, he said. They are realizing that we have been ready all along, waiting only for the right moment. Lisa smiled faintly. Restraint has a power that the galaxy forgets. Now they will remember it. In distant systems, smaller species sent urgent pleas for talks and diplomacy. We misjudged them, one whispered to another. We relied on their patience as if it were weakness. We have endangered ourselves by ignoring them. Larger species debated retaliation, but the galaxy was confused. Human restraint had created a situation no one could predict. Humans had not attacked, yet the galaxy feared them more than ever. John and Lisa held a meeting with fleet commanders. Every ship, colony, and station was accounted for. Emma White presented updates from all communication channels. All human systems are secure, she said. Defenses are reinforced. Communication networks are stable. The galaxy is reacting, but we are ready, John nodded. We do not seek conflict, he said, but we will not allow threats to continue. The galaxy must understand that humans endure, prepare, and act with purpose. Restraint is our power and patience is our strength, Lisa added, and they will remember it. The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. Now they are learning. Meanwhile, alien fleets continued to move nervously. Some attempted to predict human strategy, but they failed. Humans did not act out of anger or impulse. Every decision was calculated, every movement precise. The galaxy had assumed that patience was weakness, but humans had shown that it was the opposite: preparation, coordination, and clarity. John watched reports from the communication network. Colonies responded instantly to all orders. Defenses were strengthened. Fleets moved in formation. No ship fired a shot. The galaxy watched in fear as humans prepared quietly, showing power without aggression. The realization was spreading. Humans had been underestimated for centuries, and now the galaxy was beginning to pay the price for that mistake. Lisa spoke quietly. The galaxy regrets ignoring humans. They relied on our patience as if it were weakness. Now they see the truth and they cannot unsee it, John nodded. And we will continue to show restraint even as they panic. Restraint is stronger than anger. Patience is stronger than chaos. They must learn this lesson fully. In the assembly, alien leaders sent urgent messages to one another. Smaller species pleaded for aid. Larger species debated defensive actions. Chaos spread across the galaxy, and humans watched calmly. John and Lisa observed the galaxy's reaction with quiet satisfaction. The humans had endured insults, threats, and condescension for decades. Now the galaxy was beginning to understand the power humans had held back. Nina Hall coordinated fleet movements from a distant command station. Every ship responded instantly to commands. Every colony executed defensive protocols without error. Humans had prepared for centuries, building fleets, colonies, and networks quietly. The galaxy had ignored their patience, mistaking it for weakness. Now humans were demonstrating strength through restraint, and the galaxy was realizing it. John and Lisa met again on the observation deck. They are beginning to see our power, John said. They thought we were weak. They thought we would submit. They did not understand patience, planning, and unity. Now they see the truth, Lisa nodded, and they will continue to see it. Restraint has never been weakness. Humans endure, prepare, and act with purpose. The galaxy is learning this lesson slowly, but it will not forget it. Meanwhile, human scientists and engineers continued preparations. Communication networks monitored alien activity. Fleets maintained formation. Colonies reinforced defenses. Every action was calm, precise, and deliberate. The galaxy had watched humans depart the assembly with quiet dignity, and now they were seeing that humans could act decisively without aggression. The horror was not from war, but from understanding human strength. John turned to Lisa. The galaxy is beginning to regret underestimating us, he said. They will remember this moment for centuries. Restraint has power and patience has strength. Humans have shown both, Lisa smiled, and they will continue to learn. The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. Now they are realizing the truth. As the human fleet moved steadily through space, the galaxy continued to panic. Alien leaders debated, pleaded, and argued. Smaller species begged for talks. Larger species considered defensive strategies. Humans had shown restraint, but the galaxy understood that patience could end at any moment. Humans had endured insults, threats, and pressure for centuries. Now they were ready, organized, and united. The galaxy had finally learned the lesson too late. Humans could endure anything, and when they acted with precision and power. John and Lisa watched the stars. The galaxy had begun to understand that humans were not weak, reckless, or desperate for approval. Humans had survived disasters, wars, and betrayals. Humans had built colonies across distant worlds. And now, humanity moved with calm, silent power. The galaxy was afraid, not because humans attacked, but because humans could endure, plan, and act better than any other species. And in that quiet power, humanity stood ready. The galaxy had seen restraint and patience, and it feared what humans could do if provoked. John Carter and Lisa Brown, standing at the helm of the human fleet, knew that the galaxy would never forget this moment. Humans had shown strength without aggression, unity without chaos, and patience without weakness. The galaxy had learned a hard truth. Humans endure, humans prepare, and humans act with purpose. The galaxy was quiet, but the silence was heavy. The alien leaders had watched humans leave the assembly, and they had seen the calm strength in every movement. For weeks, fleets had scrambled, colonies had reinforced defenses, and messages had flown across the stars. Yet humans had not attacked. They had not even threatened. The galaxy began to realize the full power of human patience, discipline, and unity. John Carter stood on the observation deck of the flagship, looking out at distant systems. The stars stretched endlessly, and the galaxy seemed larger than ever. Humans had left the assembly not in anger but with purpose. Every colony, every fleet, every system was prepared, organized, and ready. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long. Now it understood a truth it could not ignore. Lisa Brown joined him quietly. "They are beginning to understand," she said. "The galaxy thought patience was weakness. It is not. It is strategy. It is power." John nodded. "They feared what they did not understand. Humans endured insults, attacks, and betrayal for centuries. Now the galaxy sees our strength. They will remember it." Far from human space, alien species sent urgent messages to one another. Smaller species begged for protection. Larger species debated alliances and defensive strategies. The galaxy had realized that human restraint had been stronger than any threat or weapon. Humans had not fired a shot, and yet fear spread like wildfire. Every species that had underestimated humans was now reconsidering its position. Meanwhile, in human space, Emma White coordinated communication networks. Every colony, station, and fleet responded instantly to commands. Ships moved with perfect coordination. Defenses were reinforced, and supply lines were secure. Humans had waited patiently, building a network of strength that the galaxy could not have imagined. Now that patience had been acknowledged, humans stood ready not to attack, but to defend everything they had built. John and Lisa met with fleet commanders. "We are not here to conquer," John said. "We are here to show that humans endure. We are here to remind the galaxy that patience is not weakness. If we are challenged, we will act. If we are not, we will continue to live and protect our people." "The galaxy must remember this lesson," Lisa nodded. "Restraint has power. Humans survive, humans endure, and humans act with purpose. The galaxy will not forget this." In the assembly, alien leaders tried to regroup. Some sent messages requesting talks. Others debated whether to attempt an alliance or to fortify defenses. Every species understood that humans had been underestimated. Every species knew that humans could act decisively if provoked. Whispers of regret spread across the galaxy. Some species admitted they had relied too heavily on human patience as if it were weakness. Now they saw the truth. Back on the flagship, John studied reports from distant colonies. The galaxy was reacting with fear, uncertainty, and caution. Humans had not fired a single shot. They had only moved with precision, showing the full power of unity, coordination, and preparation. The galaxy had learned a lesson it could not forget. Humans endure, plan, and act with purpose. Lisa joined him again. They expected chaos, rebellion, or desperation. Instead, we showed calm, order, and readiness. They fear us now not because of war, but because they understand what patience can achieve. John smiled faintly. We have survived every challenge. We have endured every insult. Now we stand united, independent, and unafraid. The galaxy will not forget this moment. In human colonies, engineers and scientists continued their work. Communication networks monitored alien activity. Fleets maintained formation, and defenses were ready. Humans had prepared for decades, quietly building the systems, networks, and fleets needed to survive. The galaxy had assumed patience was weakness. It was not. It was a sign of preparation, unity, and discipline. Now the galaxy saw it clearly. Nina Hall coordinated fleets in distant systems. Every ship responded instantly to orders. Every colony executed protocols perfectly. Humans had shown restraint, but that restraint had spoken louder than any weapon. Alien observers were terrified not of humans' aggression, but of their capability. Humans could endure, survive, and act decisively. The galaxy had seen the truth, and fear spread through every system. John turned to Lisa. The galaxy will remember humanity, he said. They will remember restraint, patience, and unity. They will remember that humans endure, and they will know we act with purpose. Lisa nodded. And they will also understand that humans protect their own. We do not act out of pride or anger. We act with reason, with planning, and with care. The galaxy underestimated this for too long. Far from human space, alien fleets prepared for possible conflict, but none dared to attack. Smaller species begged for diplomacy. Larger species reinforced colonies and trade routes. Humans had shown that patience could be more powerful than aggression. Every action, every movement, every decision by humans was precise and deliberate. The galaxy watched, unsure, fearful, and respectful. John and Lisa stood on the observation deck together. The stars stretched endlessly before them. The galaxy had learned a hard lesson. Humans endure, humans prepare, and humans act with purpose. Restraint could be stronger than chaos, patience stronger than force. Humans had waited for centuries, endured attacks and threats, and now the galaxy understood that humans would not be weak again. This is only the beginning, John said quietly. The galaxy has learned our power, our patience, and our unity. They will not forget it. Lisa smiled faintly. And we will continue to show restraint even as they panic. Humans act with purpose. We endure, we protect, and the galaxy will remember that. As the human fleet moved steadily through the stars, alien leaders debated what to do. Some sought diplomacy, others fortified defenses. Every species realized the truth. Humans could endure any challenge, and when they acted, they did so with precision and strength. Restraint had spoken louder than any weapon. Patience had become a force the galaxy could not ignore. John and Lisa observed reports from all colonies and fleets. Humans were prepared for anything. No attack had occurred, yet the galaxy was in awe. They had learned that humans were not weak, reckless, or dependent on the assembly. Humans were patient, organized, and united. They could endure, plan, and act decisively. The galaxy had underestimated them for too long, and now it knew the cost of that mistake. We have shown them what humanity can do, John said. Without firing a single shot, we have reminded the galaxy that patience is power, restraint is strength, and unity is unmatched. Lisa nodded. And the galaxy will remember it. We have endured centuries of judgment and threats. Now we stand independent, unafraid, and fully prepared. In distant colonies, humans continued to monitor alien activity. Fleets maintained formation, communication networks tracked all signals, and defenses were ready. Humans had waited for decades, prepared for centuries, and now the galaxy understood the cost of underestimating them. The horror and respect spread across alien species, not because of human attacks, but because of human endurance, strategy, and unity. John looked out at the stars. The galaxy has learned the lesson, he said. They will remember patience, strength, and unity. They will remember humanity. Lisa smiled. And we will continue to protect ourselves and our colonies. We act with restraint, but we endure. We act with purpose, and the galaxy will not forget it. The human fleet moved silently through space. The galaxy watched, uncertain, fearful, and full of respect. Humans had demonstrated that restraint could be stronger than aggression, patience more powerful than threats, and unity more decisive than chaos. The Assembly had underestimated them. The galaxy had underestimated them. Now the galaxy would remember. John Carter and Lisa Brown stood together on the flagship's observation deck. They watched the stars, confident in humanity's strength. The galaxy had witnessed a new kind of power, calm, precise, and enduring. Humans had walked away from the assembly not in defeat but in victory. Victory of patience, unity, and preparation. The galaxy had learned too late, but it would never forget. Humans endure, humans prepare, humans act with purpose, and humanity stands alone, unafraid. And in that silence, moving steadily through space, humanity proved itself. The galaxy had feared attack, but humans had only shown strength. Restraint, patience, and unity had become weapons more powerful than fleets. John and Lisa knew the galaxy would remember this moment forever. Humanity had finally taken its place among the stars, independent, respected, and unafraid.